Okay. So, the date is 6/12. Okay, 6/12, and it is about 10 o'clock a.m. 20 minutes from now. So I'm recording this. This is going to be my straight up testimony, straight up, from beginning to end. There's now 3 parts to that after this video. I'm just going to do the whole thing. And hopefully it encourages you, hopefully it blesses you. Um, but I'm really considering putting this out here because um, people think you're crazy when you see supernatural stuff. And I'm here to tell you that that is not the case. Um, if you've seen similar things like I've seen that I will talk about in here, uh, then you're not crazy. Okay, let me tell you. The problem is the mental health institutions want to label you as mentally ill. But, see, you're not. See, there's this disorder called schizophrenia. Well, if you want my honest opinion, is I don't think that is a disorder. I'm thinking that the people that have quote unquote schizophrenia are actually hearing spirits. Whether they are evil and or holy, it doesn't matter in that case. It matters in the content they are telling you. Okay? So I'm saying pay attention to them. But I do not believe in schizophrenia. I believe if you're quote unquote schizophrenic, you actually probably have the ability to hear spirits. And what matters is the content that they were telling you. But anyways, my testimony is rather interesting because I was born in 1993 on the second month of the 19th day. I'm 29 years old, and um, well, my road to ministry started when I was 18. I was born on that day, and I had a host of problems. What it boils down to is I should have been dead. Um, and then one of the other problems is when I was a kid, my body would forget to breathe, and I would stop breathing for like a couple of seconds. And I still do it once in a while, but it's not bad enough for anyone to notice. I don't notice it very often. Um, but I was born with cerebral palsy, and what that boils down to is, in my case, I can't walk. In some cases, some people can't even talk. Um, I'm lucky because I have a voice to preach. That's what I've been called to. Um, so I'm lucky I get to use my voice. But I'm gonna fast forward to uh, my 18th year because that's when it really starts kicking off. Um, Apart from the fact that I got saved at 3 years old, I've been a Christian for 20 plus years now, and I had one woman tell me from a Facebook group. It says that means you got your mark for something great, and it's funny because um, back when I was 18, I got into the Christian rap industry. For you guys that are seeing the post, that was a song that I wrote. Um, that's the capability that I have. I can do that right off the top of my head. God gave me the gift to be able to do that right off the top of my head. So I went into the Christian rap industry about 18 years old, and I could have made it, guys. I really could have made it. I was working with people that were connected to labels and everything. I never got signed, but I was working with people that were signed. Um, and what happened was I got so deep into it, and um, a friend of mine, a former friend of mine, he called me one day and he says, "Hey Lee, do you want to do a conference call with a friend of mine?" And I'm like, "Okay." So I go and do this conference call, and one of the first things he says to me is, "I know that you're in a wheelchair." Mind you, I've never saw this guy in my entire life. Not even once. Okay? Not one day in my life. And he says, "I know you're in a wheelchair, but I'm telling you, one day before you die, you're going to get up and walk." Okay? But I'm not even sure if I'm going to die anymore, because you look at the signs and the times. I think I very much could be alive by the time um, God comes back, unless I become some kind of martyr or something, or He takes me out before then. But I'm just looking at the possibility of still being alive when He comes back. Um, and I was like, "Okay, how'd you know that?" And after he did that, another thing that this man said was, "You also hear voices in your head when you pray." Okay? And I was like, okay, that started when I was 18, because ever since I got baptized at 18 years old, instead of coming up and speaking in tongues, I've been hearing voices when I prayed. And this guy says that, and then the next thing he says is, he says, "That's God or the devil, and you have to decide which one is talking to you." And this is probably about 22, 23 years old. And at the time, I was so deep into the rap industry and, working on my career. I never got paid for it. I never wanted to get paid for it. I just do it so I love it, because it encourages people at times. Um, and it's a gift that I have. Um, and well, God pulled me out of the rap industry for several years, and uh, in between that time, I got fired because of my faith. You guys in the United States, I'm sure you would understand this once I tell you this, but I used to work at one of those places where you get your driver's license for state licenses and all that. I worked at a PennDOT center, um, for Pennsylvania, if you don't know that. And I got fired from my faith because there were certain prophecies that were spoken about me. And I remember sitting at work, and I would actually ask for confirmation of these prophecies. And the last one that came through before I got fired, it was interesting, because she sat down in the chair next to me, because I used to sit outside the desk and not inside the desk. I would sit on the corner of the desk, because I found that if I was in there in the open, it was kind of easier for people to see me. So I was sitting next to her, and the next thing that came out of her mouth was, "I hate online dating." Okay? And some prophecies have conditions. Okay? So what I'm about to tell you is not necessarily true anymore because people prophecies at times have conditions. Um, and at the time, I was dating a girl from Georgia. About, I think she's 37 now. I think 36, somewhere around there. And the prophecy that was given to me and her is that she was supposed to be my wife, blah blah blah, and all this jazz. And she decided, oh, well, if that's God's plan, let's just get engaged now, blah blah blah. And long story short, the night that popped the question, blah blah blah, the devil came into my room and choked me, like literally jacked me up against the wall and choked me. And he's like, "I'm gonna take your life. Your life is mine." And then it ended. Well, I went and told her because I was so freaked and I knew my parents wouldn't get it. Um, so I went and told her, and she was like, "I'm out of here." And so she kind of walked out on me in a sense. Um, and basically, uh, before all this, um, I went through 4 years of United States Air Force ROTC. If you don't know what that is basically officers commissioning school, more or less. Um, and then after that, because of my disability, I could not serve. So the CO at the time, before I left ROTC, they're like, "Oh, just go to the Civil Air Patrol because they'll take you, and you'll get your commission, etc., etc." And I was like, "Okay." So I went there. I want to say I went there about 2013 to 2020. Um, Maybe it was a little less than that. It was 4 years. It was 4 years each. So I had spent 8 years of my life in a military environment. Uh, Technically 4 years as part of the United States military, but technically on paper that's what I am. But they're so finicky that I can't claim it. Okay. Um, Anyone that served in the military is gonna get that they're kind of particular about that. There's regulations that are so dumb. But anyways, uh, she got sick with something. It ended up being irritated bowel syndrome. And the funny thing is, they trained me as a first aid medic. Okay, and that's what I did in the field. I can't actually disclose what I did in the office because that's classified. But that's what I did in the field. And so when she got sick, I know I'm bouncing all over the place right now, but I'm trying to do it in order for you. When she got sick, I did not have any cell phone service in the headquarters because of the way the building was. And so I'm like, I'm going to put myself on officer's leave. So I have 2 years active and 2 years reserve, basically. Um, and I just never went back. Well, come to find out, when I said she had irritated bowel syndrome, what she would do, because it was state to state, etc., etc., she would message me every doctor's appointment that she was having and what the doctor was saying and whatnot. And the doctor's like, "Oh yeah, it's your gallbladder and everything else." He's like totally convinced it's your gallbladder. And so what I did, due to my slight medical training I had, I went on the internet and I started using my phone to kind of try and figure out what was happening to her. Well, she was describing diverticulitis to a T, except for it was in the wrong area of the stomach. And so I'm like, it sounds like to me you have diverticulitis. So she goes and looks it up and she goes, well, honey, it doesn't make sense because it's in the wrong area. I'm like, just because it's in the wrong area doesn't mean you don't necessarily have it. And so I'm like, it could be something else, but I'm pretty sure it's that. And long story short, me and this doctor, through text message, through her relaying information back to me and back to him, etc., etc., me and this doctor went back and forth for several months, and I said, you need to put the scope down her dang throat because I'm telling you, it's not the gallbladder. Well, finally, long story short, they put the scope down her throat and find out, oh, it's irritated bowel syndrome. Now, by this point, we're split, okay? But because it's two believers, I don't like to um, separate from believers totally, even if they are my ex. Okay, do you see what I'm saying? Like, to me, it's like the part of the body being cut off if you do that. Now, it's totally up to the person if they contact me, but typically, I don't like doing that. Okay? If they don't want to talk anymore, then fine. But I would rather you tell me that than just blow me off. Just for future reference. But that's what it's like for me. Is it's like a part of the body being cut off, and I can only think of the scripture that says, "You can't say to the arm, I don't need you," or "You can't say to the hand, I don't need you," or "You can't say to the eye, I don't need you." You know, etc., etc., and it goes right down the line. And so at this time, she was split from me, but we would still talk. And I'm like, hey, did they ever find out, um, what was wrong with you and everything else? And she's like, oh, it was irritated bowel syndrome. I'm like, I told you it was intestinal. I guess your ex-boyfriend's not so stupid. So fast forward to when she actually totally cut me off. After that, I kind of I lost my crap. I mean, I broke, and it was to the point where they sent me to the psych ward. Now, here's where it gets funny. Okay, that prophecy that was given to me in 2017 about me getting out of this chair and walking one day before I die. It was so interesting because towards the end of my stay, the whole entire time that I was staying there, the Lord gave me supernatural experience after supernatural experience. If you have any questions, contact me personally because this is going to the group, and I will tell you about it. But I'm not going to put it all in the video because that would make it too long. But basically, I went to the psych ward, and towards the end of my stay, they put me in with this Catholic priest, okay? And the guy looks at me and he says to me, he says, you're gonna get up and walk one day. Now mind you, at this point, this was the third person that said it across the United States. The first guy that said it was in Pennsylvania, as I am. But then the second person that I did not mention earlier was in Michigan. And then it happened again when I went into the psych ward. Um, so I'm almost positive with three people saying it. It's gonna happen, guys. You're gonna watch me get up of this chair and you're gonna watch me walk. I just don't know when that's gonna happen. And, um, so, anyways, it was profound because, um, fast forward to when they gave me the diagnosis of psychotic and schizophrenic, um, I began to really operate into words of knowledge and prophecy and everything else. Um, and I've known things about people's lives that they never told me. I could tell you story after story, and I'll tell you a few. Um, if you want the most recent story, you're gonna have to go talk to the admin about that. Um, and I'm only telling you this because, first off, it is my testimony, but at the same time, um, I want you to see the physical power of God. I was going to keep it between me and the admin and the other moderator, but um, I think if you understand these stories and you watch me tell these stories, you would understand. Hey, this is something that's happening. So if you want the most recent story, go talk to the moderator or the other one or the admin. And if they tell you, they tell you. But if they don't, just let it be. Okay? But I'm telling you that's the most recent story. But I'll tell you stories from the past because I don't know if I have the authority, so to speak, to disclose that. So if you want the most recent story, go talk to the admin or go talk to the other moderator. Um, but I can remember I was dating a girl from Chicago, and at this point we've been talking for maybe 5 minutes. Okay, we we met on a dating site, believe it or not, and 5 minutes I told her things about her life that I won't disclose. But at the same time, another day, I went and told her that she went to the grocery store and she never told me. Okay? And then I told another guy in a different part of the state than I'm in some things about his family that I will not disclose because, again, they're too personal. I don't think I have the right to disclose that. But I can remember one woman in particular. Um, I told that she did a particular activity that I won't disclose due to the fact that this is a Christian group. But just so you understand the supernatural aspect of this person is 35 now, 36, 37, because it's been maybe about a year at this point. And the activity that she did at 18 years old. So I straight up told her what she did on her 18th birthday. And at the time she was 35. Okay? Do you guys realize how supernatural that is? Okay? And you have to understand, I'm from Pennsylvania. Okay? She's from Nevada. Okay? So, that's completely impossible for me to do. A matter of fact, the admins from Africa, the moderators from Africa, well, one of them, I'm one of them. But just the sheer power of God is active in the earth right now. You just gotta know what you're looking for, and and for a long time this used to freak me out because I would go and I would tell my mom and dad these stories, and they're like, "You're losing your crap," effectively, is what they would tell me. And this is part of the reason that I told one particular friend of mine that has a similar background as me. I'm not going to say her name. She is in the group, but out of respect for her, I'm not going to say her name. Um, but this was part of the reason that I told you I lost my family. Because the things that I have seen God do, and the things that I have seen Him do through me, you would not be able to wrap your head around. Okay? It's to the point where people would classify it as mentally ill. Okay? And the only reason that I know that I'm not is because I have at least 100 scenarios. I can't even remember it all. And at this point, I'm talking to all y'all. Okay? But I have lost everything for the cross. I've lost my job, and effectively, in some sense, my family. I've lost my friends. I have nothing left, guys. Do you know how many times I sat in this bedroom and I just broke down and cried? Because I don't have anyone else. I don't. Physically, my family's there, but they're not there. You see what I'm saying? So, the reason I'm here is to talk to you guys because I feel at home. Okay? Whether I date someone from there or not, that's up to them. I won't force myself onto somebody. So that's totally up to you guys. I'm not going to um, do that. I'll leave that up to the female. Um, but um, I've lost everything. I don't have anything left right now. I really, really don't. And I apologize. It's kind of dark in here, but that's because of it's rainy and cloudy over where I'm at. Um, and the glare as well. But seriously, guys, I don't have no one else. I don't have anyone else. Okay? And, so I've lost pretty much everything I have. The only reason that I made it through school is, believe it or not, Joe Biden. Okay? I know that Joe Biden's doing a terrible job and he didn't really win. I get it. But, um, what I'm saying is that if it wasn't for that, I would not have made it through school. Okay? Like, I have nothing left. So the gospel is my entire life. Okay? Um, if I lose that, which I really can't, then I don't have anything else. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, this is the reality of my life. And I thank God for my military psychological training and my training because I think by this point, if I did not have that, I'd be a broken man. I really would be. yeah, I have God, but I can tell you right now, I think that is a factor because they put you under so much stress. It's it's not even funny. Okay, you guys that don't have the experience that I have, you're not gonna understand it. Okay, they break you. They really break you. Um, Not to be mean, but it's what are you gonna do in a situation when crap hits the fan and you have to go find someone? Because what I was doing is search and rescue. Okay, um, and all I can say is they break you guys. They It's unreal, and I want you guys to understand that post that I put up there to do with my background, and I said you don't want to see this part of me. That was not a threat, okay? Um, Anybody with my background would understand that that is not a threat, okay? It was a sense of, hey guys, I'm serious. You do not want to see the other side of me. I don't even want to show you that side of me. But when I need to get hard, I will get hard. I'm not a hard person, but if I need to, I will get that way. Okay? So I was just telling you, out of the fact that if I hear something that's irretolerable and I don't remove you, okay, I will reprimand you. Okay? I will do it. It might not be, with all the swear words that they used back there. Because I try not to swear. Especially when I'm dealing with people. But all that was is, guys, you don't want to see me like that. Okay? Because I do not even like to be like that. But I'd be like that when I have to be. That's going to be in extreme cases. That's what I'm telling you. I'm not threatening you, but I'm saying in extreme cases, that that is what's going to come out if Liz or me doesn't remove you. Okay? I'm not going to play games. This group is going to change. Thankfully, I haven't heard too much. But if you guys are going through that, apart from being a scammer, someone is sexually harassing you, it doesn't matter. Whatever they're doing, okay, if you're not a scammer, we will not remove you the first time unless it is extremely bad, okay? Um, but if you continue to do it, we will remove you, okay? Um, So I want you to understand that when I said that, I was being graceful. I'm saying that you do not want to see me like that. Because I don't even want you to see me like that. I can be a hard man if I need to. But it's not who I am. Okay? So Liz, understand. It's not a threat. It's just, if I need to be like that, I'm willing to be like that. Okay? I'm sorry that you took it the wrong way, but that was not a threat. I'm saying that if I need to be hard, I will be hard. Okay, that's all that is. And basically, well, I went on Facebook to do ministry again, and then I found you guys. And it's 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 honestly it's been the greatest thing that ever happened to me. Because you know what? even if I don't have a partner per se, I don't feel alone anymore. Do you see what I'm saying? Because for years, I mean, I've been going through this for years, okay? Um, I felt by myself. I felt like, is anyone in my corner, okay? Besides a handful of other people. And when I came there, I will be honest, I was looking for a partner, but to be honest, I don't necessarily need one because I have you guys. You guys are my family. I don't even feel alone anymore. And I do apologize for the length of this video. I really do. But this is my entire testimony over 29 years. Okay? And I'm really trying to shorten it down for you guys so that it's watchable. But I wanted to come on here and say this and say a couple of things so that you understand the who you're dealing with in the group. I'm not just someone that went to school to become a preacher, okay? It's much more than that. Now, I won't disclose totally who I am according to prophecy because I don't want you guys using my position for your own gain. But I do love every single one of you guys. I would lay down my life for every single one of you guys. And maybe that's the somewhat military in me talking, somewhat military background talking. But like anybody that has served or done what I did, when you sign up, you sign on a dotted line that I realize I could die doing this. Now the work that I was doing is non-combat related. The whole organization is non-combat, but there are still instances where we have had people die in missions and everything else. So we still can die. And I got out in 2020. So when you sign on that dotted line, you're either saying, yes, I realize I could die doing my job, or yes, I do realize that I could take a bullet and die for the country. Okay? You have to understand that that's a sacrifice that not everyone can make. Okay? That's a sacrifice that takes a lot of mental fortitude to realize what you're signing up for. And I'm thinking about going back in the next couple of years and signing up again for another 4 years. But I want you to understand the sacrifice that the U.S. military and other militaries make for their countries. Okay? Despite the fact that some might be communist, some might not be, some, the list goes on. Okay? It doesn't matter what the motive is behind the military per se. Okay? I think some militaries are evil, yes, but there's always good people inside those militaries. So understand that the soldiers that serve your country, they put their name on that dotted line. And yeah, in some countries they might be drafted, but at this particular point, the military in the United States is completely volunteer. So please understand that when we put our name on that dotted line, we sign up for things that could get us killed. Okay? That is why I'm to the point where I'm willing to die for every single one of you guys. and I'm willing to die for the gospel because I have a soldier's mentality. I'm as close as you can get to the military without being part of the military per se, even though at this point that's what I am on paper as of 2015, but again, I can't claim it. But please understand, your sacrifice is honored, your sacrifice is needed, and I honor that, and I love you guys so much. I will make that sacrifice if I need to, because I understand what I signed up for when I got it. I did a bunch of desk work, and I can't talk about it. But the stuff that I would have done in the field, I've never been on missions myself because they never needed me. But when I signed that, it's like, okay, I realize what I'm getting into. And you put your name on that dotted line, and your life isn't yours anymore. Anybody that has a similar background is going to understand what I'm telling you. Your life really isn't yours anymore. It is, but you're giving up your life for something you hold so dearly you wouldn't even think twice about it. Okay? So that's about the end of my testimony. I'm going to leave it at that. Yes, it is about 42 minutes long, and I understand that's kind of long, but I hope you guys watch this and you get something from it, because it's the reality of my life right now. It's 100% the reality of my life right now. God bless you guys. I love you all. I really, really do. You guys are everything I have right now, apart from God Himself. So I thank you for letting me in here, because I don't feel by myself anymore. And I have to thank every single one of you. My close friends, the admin, the moderator, and my one friend. You three are the closest friends I have. I mean, for real. But you know what? Every single one of you is worth my life in there. And I know that talk is cheap, but I'm being real. Look at my face and tell me if I'm joking. Alright guys, I love you guys, and have a good Sunday, okay? I really, really do love you guys.